Hello, everybody. It's your favorite guy, Ghost Hunter Joe. It's your boy. I want to welcome everybody to our very first episode of Ghost Hunter Joe and Friends. You're the friends. So this is a brand new show that we're starting, and we are here. We're going to talk about all things paranormal, and let's just be honest. If you follow me on any kind of social media platform, you know that I kind of talk about a little bit of everything. So I'm kind of excited to see how this goes. We've had a lot of support as to making this a reality. So I want to introduce first my co-host. This is Miss Ashley. Ashley, welcome to Ghost Hunter Joe and Friends.
Yay!
And I was going to say, and you're frozen. So I know, I'm really excited that you're here. I'm excited about this whole show. I'm excited about this whole platform. And I want you to know, girl, we've already got people in here watching us. So that's even more exciting. So I know. So you know how I like to give a shout out because everybody is a friend. So first of all, we need to give a big shout out to Miss Dark Whisper. Miss Dark Whisper actually made all of the flyers that we had posted for our show tonight. So
you're amazing, by the way. I love it.
What was that?
I said I love our flyer.
I know, she did an awesome job. So I was really excited about that. John is here. Leah's here. Who else is in here? Oh, our girl Marie and Fam is in here. We love Marie and Fam. Welcome to Ghost Hunter Joe and Friends. I know we're talking about all things paranormal. So what we want everybody to do, we want to create a little paranormal family. Again, like I mentioned, some of you follow me on some other platforms, which is great. You know, this is a very relaxed environment. So, you know, as we're talking about things, I want you to feel free to comment. We'll put the comments up. We'll also drop the link from time to time so you can come up and join in the conversation because we're all a big family here. So that's really what this is all about. And for those of you who have never seen me before, you will also get to meet my dog because my dog likes to bark a lot. So she tends to get very jealous. So, it looks like the Black Wolf is in here. I am really excited for everybody that's being in here. So, how are things going in your world, Ash? Things going good?
Good. What about you? Just same old.
Things are going good.
Good.
You know, some people don't know we did a little bit of ghost hunting this weekend. We actually went and we investigated our favorite antique store that's in Gallatin, Tennessee. So I was really excited to do that. And actually, the owner of Pickled Treats and Antiques, where we investigated, is going to be on our episode next week. So I'm very excited about that. So we'll kind of keep our findings on what we had for next week to release all that to you. But without further ado, I want to introduce tonight's guest. And tonight's guest is, if you don't know me, then you don't know this person. But if you know me, you know that this is my best friend in the whole world. I've known her, 12 years now. It's hard to imagine there was a life before her. And actually, this person, I know I'm keeping it a big secret from everybody. She's backstage. She's actually watching me kind of laughing at me talking about her. It was because of her that I actually got really into the paranormal. So without further ado, I would like to introduce my girl, Miss Wendy. Yay!
Hey, Joe. Hey, Ashley. Hi. You know, we were both new in the paranormal world.
There she is.
Yeah.
We were.
Many years ago.
it seems like that was so long ago.
I know, right?
I mean, it had to be 2007, 2008. I mean,
everything to us is in 2004.
it
Right?
was,
When we don't know what date it is, we go, it happened around 2004.
I
We
know.
just make up a number.
I know,
It
right?
together after a while. Yeah.
Well, now let me tell you guys a little story about Miss Wendy.
Oh, this is scary. What?
So, it's a little
Lord.
scary. So
It's fine. It's fine.
So when Wendy and I met, like she said, we were very new to the paranormal field. We had never done anything. We were just little babies. And Wendy, you're getting a lot of people saying hello to you. Just
Hi.
So when Wendy and I first started, we were very new, and we didn't know what we were doing. So we joined a group based out of Columbus, Indiana, called the Columbus Ghost Trackers. And it was the very first meeting because nobody in the group had ever done anything like that. It was at the all-time high of, people wanting to get involved in ghost hunting because Ghost Hunters was real big on TV.
Right. It just new. Yeah.
It was crazy. So we meet at this little park, and Wendy, of course, shows up late. Okay, and we're not talking like 5 minutes. Wendy shows up like 20 minutes
Of
late.
course.
Get down, doggy. Yeah.
Okay. And so I was automatically annoyed because I'm like, oh my God, who is this girl with the long hair coming in 20 minutes late trying to take over, right? So she comes up and she sits down and then she starts talking and I just fall in love with her. And I'm just like, oh my God, she's hilarious. So we're going around the room. And people are trying to say, here's the equipment that I have and whatnot. And we had a member on our team say, what was it, Wendy? I don't even know. How would you describe what this person was saying? And they actually brought it out.
Oh, no.
You mean the one who had the one piece of equipment that I couldn't believe?
Yeah. Well, tell them about that. Tell them.
We were all new to the field. And so we were trying to learn and everybody's walking, going around in this circle. Remember, we met in the park in Columbus, Indiana. And so nobody had anything. And we're all like trying to pretend like we're big ghost hunters, which none of us had gone anywhere. But it's like, oh, yeah, I've done this before. And finally, we're all going around, and most of us had like video cameras or something just laying around our house. And what was it? The one girl comes up and she goes, well, it was her grandmother who was a psychic from the past and had some kind of bell that she was listening to. And she was so excited that we had some paranormal bell. And that's the only real equipment that we had to start out with, except for like our parents' video cameras. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy.
And what's funny, Wendy, in
A
front
bell?
of
it's like this weird horn that like she thought that we could talk to dead people if you put a bell up to like a big metal bell. And
it was a bell.
Maybe it's real. I don't know, but
it was like a bell with like a funnel. Like you talked
like
into the funnel.
Yeah, and maybe it's real. I don't know. We were just new to ghost hunters at that time, thinking we were good.
So Wendy, in front of a bunch of people, looks at everybody and goes, "So we're a bunch of ghost hunters, and this is what we have. This is our equipment. It's a bell."
Like, okay, we got a long way to go.
I mean, it was terrible.
It was fun. I think you and I kind of broke off at that point. We're on our own.
At that point, we realized, this is a little nutty.
Yeah.
But we stayed with the group for a while. You know,
it was fun. We
Next
made some
one,
good friends.
Joe.
What was that, Ash?
A bell.
Oh, Ash, you're breaking up
I'm
again.
ringing a bell next time.
You are not bringing a bell. And Wendy, I just want you to know, your infamous friend Craig is in here.
Hi, Craig. You guys, Craig is look up he has a long history he's a casting director in Los Angeles, but he writes these amazing books, and look him up. And he's just, he has done extraordinary work, and you'll see a lot of his work coming up here too. And,
I follow Craig.
He's our famous friend in the room.
I followed Craig on Facebook, and he's always doing some sort of movie, and
he
always seems really busy.
I don't know.
One of these days,
how you do it, because I can't even write like a note anymore, without
One of these days,
I
I'm
write
going
an
to
email.
meet Craig. That's all I have to say. I wanted to meet Craig for like 10 years. One of these days, I'm going to meet Craig.
Yeah.
And is this your good friend Lori that I've heard so much about?
Hey, Lori.
Lori, I have heard amazing things about you too. So I want to meet you one day and go on a big RV trip. That sounds
I know.
like
See, I told Joe about the RV trips.
so, I'm really excited to see all the love in the room. My buddy Todd is here, who actually helps run Midnight Wolfpack, which aren't we lucky we can all be here? Yes, this is the Todd. But before we kind of get off, talking too much about, ourselves and our crazy, crazy experiences, and we will let people come up here in a little bit. I want to talk about you, Wendy, because you really started out more so in the paranormal field, searching for ghosts. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah. Like you and I, and then I think you ended up moving south, right? I think did you go down to Nashville? I can't remember. And then, I stayed in the Indianapolis ghost groups. And yeah, we started that way for years. And that's where we were when the UFOs decided to attack. No.
Well, that's absolutely true, because what happened, I was living in southern Indiana at the time,
Right.
and you somehow started having these different UFO experiences. And, I remember when you started telling me about this, I'll be real honest with the people in the room and that are watching. I thought Wendy had lost her damn mind.
I thought I'd lost my mind. I thought, what's happening here? Yeah. Because I had no interest in UFOs. It's not, we all are curious, but it wasn't like a real fascination and obsession like it is now. But it was just, you knew they were there, you assumed they were there, but I never really gave it a second thought. It wasn't an interest. And it wasn't until I remember one day I was looking out my window and I could have swore like this big star. But keep in mind, it was summertime. Venus is out, even though I didn't know anything about the stars at that time, really. And I told my husband at the time, I said, I think I'm being followed by a star, which, just kind of laughed, but it seemed like the thing was right there always. And, he was a physician. And he said, you better be careful who you tell. And I go, I know, right? And we laughed it off. And it wasn't like a week later until I had my first incredible sighting that it just opened the floodgates to everything at the time.
So tell me about that. You saw this star that, was kind of following you around. How long did it follow you around for?
Just a matter, I don't know. It's like I was connected to it for some reason, and I don't even know why, because I wasn't at the time to look up in the stars, but maybe it just seemed a little bigger or a little brighter, and it just caught my attention. And literally a week later, I was at my office in almost downtown Indianapolis. The building is around a lot of buildings. And I was in the back parking lot at nighttime. Long story short, I was working with the Humane Society of the United States, and they had me babysitting well over 200, I'm sorry, it felt like 1,000 roosters that they had done from a rooster fighting bust. Remember that? And so I'm like,
let's take a little side trip, because this is definitely worth talking about. Did you say for our viewers you had about 200 roosters that you were babysitting?
I was it had to be way more than that. I stopped counting at 200, and the building that I owned at the time had these back garages, and I'm like, and they called and said, because I was doing puppy mill bust with dogs, and they called and said, hey, can we use your garages to put these roosters in until the state of Indiana decides what we're going to do with it? It's going to be about 5 days, no big deal. And I'm like, sure. So they just kept unloading all these roosters, and then it suddenly became my responsibility to feed them and water them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, something I didn't think about. In August in Indiana, it's hot and it's humid. And so I could not put these enormous garage doors down. So I had to spend the night at my office with these garage doors up. And I'm like, my gosh, what have I gotten myself into? So when you listen to the first footage, and anybody who wants to watch the footage, just email me and I'll send it over. You hear all these.
Do you see this comment? Oh, wow.
I know.
Oh, wow.
It's goofy, right? It's like one of those things. And my niece was with me, and we were standing in the back parking lot, And I just happened to look up, and her name's Ashley too. And I said, "Hey, Ashley, look, that's a UFO." I was kidding. It was a joke. It wasn't real. And she goes, "No, it's not." And so we're talking, about 15, 20 minutes had gone by, and there was a big post, like a utility post, and it had gone to the other side. Now that post, now I did not see I did not see it move. I just knew that it was on the other side of the big utility post. And I go, "Oh my gosh," I go, "Ashley, the UFO has moved to the other side now." And she goes, "Oh, that's just Earth rotation." And I went, "Yeah." And then I go, "But wouldn't we all be hanging on?" Like that was pretty quick. And then pretty soon that thing dropped, which had to be thousands of feet. It crisscrossed the back parking lot, and it did like this thing, like an oval. And it bothered me that it wasn't like an infinity sign. Isn't, to this day, that bothers me, and I don't know why. It was this oval, and then whoop, back up it went. And the first thing out of my niece's mouth, I'll never forget this, because we were stunned. And she goes, "Oh, that's not right." And we're just like, so we just ran in the building, and it's like, what do you do at this point? There's a UFO outside.
Oh, I think you froze on us, Wendy. Could you repeat that?
Which part?
Could you repeat that? I think you froze, or maybe it was me. What did you say? I missed what you said.
Like we just ran inside after we saw the UFO, after it had dropped.
Well, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, that was a very first sighting, and I remember thinking, oh my, I always tell myself, you're a scientist, you can document it. I always tell myself, freak out later on, but right now you're a scientist. And I'm like, how big, how wide, how far did it drop? And all I know is I was eye level with it, and it was so bright I couldn't see a shape. Crisscrossed twice, did the oval, and then back up it went. And we were stunned, absolutely stunned.
So, you mentioned that was, you know what? We have Haunting Purgatory who's saying that she's experienced something very similar.
Did you? Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's incredible that, someone else is having that same experience.
Right.
Now, when did you say this happened, like year-wise? I know we think it's 2004, but...
I think it was 2010 or 11. I think 2010 is when it all started. And that was the first sighting. And it was dramatic, if anything. And for somebody who was not into UFOs or into anything like that, there were no words. I was stunned. I was beyond the word stunned. And I remember my son actually was in the building at the time too, working on the computer. And it was in the middle of the night, and you get the weirdest thoughts that you never think that would come into your body. And so suddenly it's like, I don't care if I close down these garage doors. I don't care what happens to the roosters. Now I got to get from my building to my car. What am I going to do? My car is parked in that parking lot. It's an odd thought and feeling that you have to go through, but we ran for our lives, basically. And
so I guess how long would you say this entire experience, like this one instance when you started realizing, was it just a matter of like 5 minutes?
No, it wasn't 5 minutes. It had to be, I know that it crossed 1, 2, 1, 2, then the oval, and then whoop, back up it went. So within seconds. It wasn't so fast. It was like, ding, ding. It was like, burr, burr, burr. Like it wanted me to know it was there without a doubt. And then I just couldn't, it had to fall thousands and thousands of feet. That's something I don't understand. The whole building is surrounded by buildings. You would think people, I'm sure in the middle of the night, they're thinking, why are we hearing roosters and, a city location? And why are there UFOs now flying in their parking lot? Oh, well, that's Piaget girl. No.
Well, stuff happens.
It's windy back there, yeah.
Again, what's interesting, and I love that, people are commenting on this, going back to Haunting Purgatory, she's saying a very similar experience.
Wow.
Hers goes all the way back to 2001. I'm just curious, Haunting Purgatory, if, you're saying that you've had a few experiences similar to that. Do those experiences still happen to you? I'm just curious. I'd love to know your thoughts on that. So, okay. So,
because mine continued from that moment on, it was like it's saying, I'm here. We're not going away for a few years, and buckle up because your life is going to be very different. I even, I made a little YouTube, or Lori put together a YouTube thing for me. And I know she wrote in there that it was within seconds, my life changed. Everything was different at that point. And,
so when you say everything changed, tell me more about that. How did things change for you?
You know, you start, I mean, you don't question God, but you're like, where does this all fit in? Like, oh my God. I mean, there's a lot of, and then there's a factor of I'm terrified. I went through a part of my time where I'm thinking, is this thing going to suck me up off the street?
Oh, for
Is
sure.
it going to come get me while I'm sleeping? Those are things like thoughts you've never had in your life. And you start learning about different things. Like you start looking into, UFOs, and then somebody brings up the word alien or hybrid. You're like, oh no, I'm not even go there. And it just, the snowball just gets bigger and bigger. And now you've got to figure out where you fit in this puzzle piece. I started when more things started happening and very obvious and real things. And I started crisscrossing the country trying to talk to different authors like, Craig and people who would know, have you ever had these experiences before? Craig's able to channel different aliens, which is fascinating to me. It's so believable and so real. And, I have a degree in science from Purdue. So I try to base everything in very facts. And I think if I can't reproduce it and measure it, it doesn't count. And that was always for me. If I can't get footage of it, and if I can't see it again tomorrow night, it's not real. And there were a lot of things I couldn't get footage of, but I do have a lot of footage. And I learned a lot, different things, you learn. I always thought a spaceship was like a round disc. And suddenly one day I look out my back window and I've got a perfectly shaped diamond with a red bar across it, damn near sitting in my backyard. And you're like, oh my gosh. It just,
so
my house becomes haunted. Yeah.
So let's step back a minute. You're saying there was something in your backyard. Like, how big was it?
Huge. Well, huge. Like how big? That's a hard, like a swing set size. So it's big.
Okay.
About size that nobody's ever asked me that. Yeah. And it had a red bar going across it. So I immediately get online and I start looking. Does anybody have this diamond? And there was a guy in New York who had it. And still to this day, every once in a while, it'll show up around the country. And I call it my diamond. I get jealous when somebody else has it. I'm like, wait a minute, that's mine. But it followed me, oh my gosh, for weeks on end. And I travel a lot to the West Coast. And it literally, oh my gosh, at LAX one night, it was sitting, I swear, as God is my witness, at the end of the runway. And I go, you're going to get hit. And it scooted over. I had it one time, I was in La Cañada, which is in Los Angeles on these hills. And my cousin and my little niece, we were able to pull it out. We asked it to come out and it popped out. We've got great footage of that. And what's neat is little Mia was only 5 years old and they're so honest. And she goes, Aunt Wendy, can you make it go pink? And I go, oh my gosh, we can surely try. But just, you're just constantly going, is this, still to this day, I'm like, is this real? This can't be happening to me. But
we have a caller question.
Okay.
We have a caller. Is there a specific time of day these things happen?
You know what? It used to be at night, but I think that's because I was always looking at night. And then they started showing up in days, like the balls started showing up at daytime, these balls. And the first time they showed up, and honestly, get my email and I will send over the footage. I was in Atlanta looking for furniture. I walk out of my hotel. Now keep in mind, before I was landing or before we tucked under the clouds, I looked out the window and I said, look, just show, I'm always trying to test them. It's like, because honestly, I keep going, this can't be real. I go, look, just pop out. I won't tell anybody. And, just between you and me. And boom, we go under the clouds. And it was like 2 days later, I walk out of my hotel in Atlanta and these balls are like up in the sky. And I also see the jets. What made me look up was the jets were crisscrossing. And I'm like, no, I go through white bags, trash bags, white balloons. You want to go through everything. Then helicopters started coming over. There was a kid standing next to me too. He actually reported it to MUFON later on, thank goodness. But I thought, okay, let me do this. I started changing directions and they started coming around these hotels. And then I would see them actually come out of nowhere. Whoop, and then they would make this weird shape. And this was the first day that I talked to them. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm filming it. I have the film. And they made this weird triangular shape. And then they disappear. They bring it back out, disappear. And I remember I gave them a thumbs up. And I thought, oh my, I got to get alive. I'm sitting here going, I got it now. I understand. I don't know what it means. I don't know who you are, but I know you're trying to tell me something. I just got to get this figured out. So later on, my son went online and he was able to find that exact same shape happening to other people, just one in Texas, one in New York, I think throughout the country. So, but that was during the daytime. And that became, when I got up close enough to them, they would come out in, like, interdimensionally. So that brings in another puzzle piece, is this interdimensional.
So let's stop for just a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe this is a silly question to ask, but why do you think you were chosen to have these experiences?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know. There's some crazy nights that happen later on, and I always go, I promise I'm not crazy. I have footage. I promise I'm not crazy. And there's at one time where my sister, I try to have witnesses. That's really important to me, to have witnesses, to have footage. And they used to come out a lot when I would have, for some female family members, especially my sister, with me. And we finally got to the point where we could ask it questions like to the right, to the left. And I'm like, oh my God. And I asked the question that I dreaded, but I knew I needed to ask. And I'm going to cry. I said, am I one of you? And yes. And I thought, that can't be right. I don't understand. I don't understand.
That's just, it's incredible to me.
It is incredible. It's incredible to me. It's incredible. I used to just call my mom from Indiana. That's all I am. I'm a mom from Indiana.
Just so you know, Haunting Purgatory, if you're interested, you're talking about, Wendy's story reminds you a lot of your first few years of exploration. I'd love to have you come up and share your story with Wendy and us. Don't feel like you have to, but I did post the StreamYard link. If you want to click on that and come up, we'd love to have you.
And that's still, sorry, Joe, but that's still my search, is always to connect with people who have had experiences like I have. So maybe they have a puzzle piece that I'm missing, that, it's different. Like soon somebody introduced the word Men in Black. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not going there.
Exactly.
And the next thing I know is, did I ever see a man in black? Yeah, I did. I can remember coming home from college and turning around and boom, there he was. But for years, I told people, you're not going to believe this. I saw a ghost. It was my grandfather, but I couldn't understand why he would be in the whole 1950s type suit with a hat, because he was a mechanic. He was always in like mechanic clothes. And but for years, I would say, I saw a ghost in person. I don't think it was a ghost. At this point, I know. I mean, it looks exactly like a man in black. And and then my house got haunted. That we're kind of linking together now, is when people have a lot of UFO experiences, everything gets haunted around them. So why? I mean, do things get magnetic? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, another caller question for you.
Thank you.
We have a caller. What type? Can you not see when I post these? Can you see on the bottom of the screen?
Let me put my glasses on.
Oh, maybe that's why you're. Maybe that's why you're ignoring
them. I had with them. It's the communication I've had is the point. They lasted about 3 years, 3.5 years, and but to this day, I can still. They're up high. They're like when people go, "Oh, I had a UFO sighting." To me, I'm like, yeah, okay, because they're up high. You could see them moving or zigzagging. What I was having during those years, these were like up close and personal. These were coming to get your butt.
And I don't want to cut you off, but Dark Whisper also is laughing that I'm calling it a caller. Dark Whisper. I'm not going to say where I got that from, but you know. We can't mention certain names, so no. Anyway, let's just say I got the idea from Tina's universe. So if y'all follow the YouTube platforms I follow, you'll know exactly where that is. And just FYI, Tina, I love. But that's another story. So all I can say, go follow the shows for the women who helped make me do this. Amber's Reality. No, it's not Amber's Reality TV Cafe anymore. What is it? Amber and Heidi Spills TV Cafe. That's what it is now. And Marie and Pam. Go watch them. I got to give them a shout out because without them, I probably wouldn't have been pushed to do this. So, not to mention my paranormal peeps, Black Wolf, Pac-Man, basically the Midnight Wolf Pack. Imagine that. And I'm on their network, so there you go. There you go. They were the final ones to give me the push to do this, but I gotta say, Amber and Heidi and Marie really kind of pushed me in that direction to begin with. So anyway, going back to my wicked woman is in the house. Hi, wicked woman. So I want to go back to Wendy. You had some very unique experiences that I got to partake in, and if I wasn't there, I would not have believed that it was real. Right. And specifically, I want to talk about, there was one time, back in the day, I used to spend the weekend over at Wendy's house. It seems like every weekend I was there, wasn't it? Just I was basically another member. You had
your own room and bed and everything.
I did. And let me just tell you, Wendy does nothing half-assed, okay? Nothing. I mean, I went there. I had my own bedroom. I had my own bathroom. The most comfortable bed I ever slept in. I mean, it was like on vacation going to her house.
I wish we knew what bed that was. You still talk about that bed.
This bed that she had, and again, this was like 10 years ago. It was the best bed I have ever laid on. And I still talk about it. And she got rid of it when she moved. But
yeah, I don't know what it was.
I don't know. But anyway, so back in the day, when we were young and fun, that's what we used to do.
Slumber parties.
We had a lot of slumber.
We're not fun.
And then we would sleep until 2 the next day because we could. Wendy's kids were up doing their own thing. We're just hanging out.
Whatever.
Anyway, Dark Whisper, I love you too, girl. I love you too, girl, and I love you, wicked woman. Okay, so focusing. When I was staying over at your house one time, we had an experience with lights coming from the forest in the backyard.
Right.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think I used to have these balls, but these are little. That's one of the first things that, there's so many events that happen, but I always remember seeing these little orange and they weren't blue. They were orange and white balls, bigger than how big is that? Bigger than a basketball, not a basketball.
I don't know what
a tennis.
What
I'm not a sports lady. A tennis, yeah. One of the very first times, one of the very first events that ever happened, I was working on a case in Southern Indiana. It was almost like a skinwalker case. The family kept calling me extraordinary. If we ever want to go into another ghost story, Tennyson, down to Tennyson, unbelievable. I think because at the time I was the only female on the team, they kind of connected because it was a grandma and a mom, and so they would call me all the time saying, "This is happening. This thing is throwing knives," and it was talking. It was crazy.
Wendy, you and I could do a whole show just on
that one. It's extraordinary. In fact, the people at Skinwalker Ranch, I called them. They ended up flying down to investigate it. So that is another show. But they called me one night, and this is right after I saw the crisscrossing in my office, right? And they called me and said, we have blue balls floating outside their window. And at this point, I didn't know what to tell them. You can only have so many priests and ministers come inside, your house and bless it and try to get rid of it. Nobody knew what to do on the team. And so I would say the same thing. Okay, let me research that and I'll get back with you. I was looking online. I was putting blue balls, UFO, ghosts, anything.
Wait. Stop.
I know.
Stop. What did you search?
Blue balls.
Blue balls.
Blue balls outside my window. I did. I know, but listen, but you wouldn't believe how many there are.
And what kind of results did you get? Good God.
Listen.
Some that I didn't want to get, but
Clearly.
again, the look up. Oh my gosh, look up John Tosti, Tosti. Incredible case. Another incredible case that is just there's a handful of cases that are so extraordinary that like they should be on TV. You know, they're just. You don't find them very often, but I was a John Tosti case that I was reading about, happened to be in Indiana, was very similar to the case I was working on in Tennyson, Indiana. I thought I can connect those two together. They can at least kind of work together on this and try to figure out what was going on. And so I did what I always do. So I left my office in my house and I had to go get my Diet Coke, which I live on. And I was walking across my living room. Our house was up on a big ravine, glass windows, and I thought I saw these blue balls floating down into like above my swimming pool. And I'm thinking, okay, can your brain do that? Because I was just reading about that. Can it like, you know?
You were just reading about blue balls. Okay.
I was, but you know, okay, read the John Tosti case. He had blue balls. You know what I mean?
Wendy, this is a family show. This is a family show.
Listen.
You were not going to be invited back.
It's a family show.
No, it's
So
fine.
anyway, I'm looking out my window and there's all these balls floating around about that big, like
Can we use a different word?
tennis. They were round little things, lights. They were round lights. Okay. So I'm thinking I'm losing my mind at this point. I get my husband out of bed and I don't tell him. I go, what do you see? What do you see? And you know what he said? Blue balls. And he's a doctor.
Your husband said that?
But anyway, I don't even know what we were talking
That
about.
is amazing.
Yeah. So I would have these balls float around on and off out down in the ravine. And I think you came over one night and there were balls and they were in the woods. You see these white ball, little balls all the time. So we went to sleep that night. We've lost control.
There are blue balls everywhere.
Everywhere.
Red and orange, which is really bad.
Everywhere.
Oh my God. But you saw him. Wendy, what did she say? Oh my God.
Do you think there's a connection between cryptids, spirits, and extraterrestrials?
You know what? I don't know. All I do know is I want to know why. At first, people didn't really connect the two, but nowadays we do that. When people see a lot of UFOs. Oh no, who's saying what? Joe, what?
I don't know that I want to show this one. I'm going to anyway.
Yeah, do it.
Great Balls of Fire. This is the one. Welcome to the show about abundant balls.
It's just a ball of fun.
Yeah, leave it to Joe to have a show about balls.
Yes, it is.
Oh my God, I know what
I
you're
don't
blue
even know how to
ball.
respond
Joe,
to this.
make your logo like a big blue ball. And only we will know about it, okay? All of us tonight, we will know what that means. Nobody else will.
So the new logo for Ghost Hunter Joe and Friends, just a bunch of blue balls. So Dark Whisper, I'm gonna need you to modify our poster. Just a bunch of blue balls everywhere.
And put some blue everywhere.
Hey, animal. Family show my ass. You're right, wicked woman. Wendy ruined that for us.
Oh well, I'm sorry. Does this
But
surprise you?
Beth also had a show about wieners, so you know.
Oh, remember
I guess it's par for the course.
restaurant?
What?
Remember the restaurant I always wanted to do?
Oh, tell everybody about the restaurant you want to do. They'll love
So
it.
Joe and I are downtown Nashville one day, and we passed Hooters, and I said, you know, we just got to get this score even. Let's open up a restaurant and call it Weenies. I think it would be good. We
So
can
we're
have
gonna
a
do
blue ball special. It'll be great. Anyway, Joe's over spending the night, and we see these round lit objects in my backyard.
You don't want to know, Jamie.
It just gets worse. Yeah. So
Okay,
anyway,
okay. Keep
the house
telling.
started getting haunted. We started having lightning inside the house. But if you go to the John Tosti case, look, I'm serious, everybody. Go to John Tosti, unbelievable. He started having lightning inside his house too. But people ask me too, have you been abducted? And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't know. But there was one night that it was absolutely terrifying that Joe was over. And it seemed so real to me that, I mean, that I went into hypnotherapy to a hypnotherapist at one point to understand what happened that night. That it was fear to the point of that's good. Yeah.
You guys are
But it was fear of almost like being taken. It was interesting.
Oh, jeez.
So, okay, so tell them. So tell them when I was over. Hang on, my dog is going nuts. I mean, we all knew that this was coming. Lucy, come on up. Everybody wants to see you. Come here. Come here. You want to be internet famous? Come here. Okay, she ain't coming. So, okay, so the animal wants to know what's up with the balls. Okay.
I don't know what they are. That's Joe. I don't know. He was there.
So, animal, here's the thing. Wendy's seeing these colored orbs coming out, right?
They were orbs. That's a good word. Okay, yeah, everybody forget the word ball.
Maybe that's the word you should have used. Maybe.
Oh, yeah. Should have started out that way.
They're orbs.
And the way she described it was, the way Wendy described it was, she saw blue balls everywhere.
You were there.
I can't write this. I can't write this. And there's Todd's comment. There you go. That's the blue balls.
Todd, again.
I want you to make that your logo.
Dark whispers on it.
Falling from heaven.
Dark whispers on it. Oh, an animal, to make it even better, she asked her husband what he saw, and he goes, I see blue balls. I don't believe that's what happened. I don't believe that's how it happened, but okay.
I got mad because some of them were orange, and he said there were orange.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I could not see the colored ones though, like that. I just saw the blue ones. Like that. You guys look it up. I'm serious. Look up orange and red balls.
And blue.
And blue balls.
This is not how I saw this show going tonight. This is not how
it is.
Blue balls over my swimming pool. See what happens.
Like no more shows for you two.
I expected us to be, professional. Yeah. All right.
Oh, like I see it, Joe. Mm-hmm.
Oh, but you know what? Jamie has a good thing. She's not going to go tell her husband, go deal with your blue orbs. That's cute. That's cute. Okay, so but we really haven't talked about what happened and why it was so scary for you. So
I don't even know.
So, well, I can tell you what it was because I have no recollection of it, but you do.
No, we saw the lights.
Yeah.
But at that point, my family, my kids, we'd gotten so accustomed to seeing it, and there comes a time too where you can only document. You can call MUFON, you can call whoever you want to call, but what are you going to do with that information? And there's people who just don't know what to do with it. You document it and file it, and so that went into the blue ball file, and so that's just it. But anyway, he was over one night
because it's so inappropriate.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
anyway,
good.
Yeah.
And then this is where I get messed up because I think that were we laying in the same bed watching TV?
No.
For some reason, I keep thinking that we were together, which is we're not together, but hanging out together. You know what I mean? And
I don't remember ever watching TV at your house.
Really?
like not together. I remember watching it when I would go to bed. I don't remember us watching like a movie or no, I don't remember that.
Well, you wonder if something really happened that night or if I just had a vivid dream. To this day, I'll never know. But it was like in the peak of activity where the house was haunted, crazy things going on, and Joe spends the night, and I have the most vivid dream that it upsets me, like even to the next day, and I can like remember it so much. Like I said, I'm going to go see a psychotherapist on it, which again, I don't know if I believe. It's just like I can't document that. If I don't have photographs of me being there, it doesn't count. But I remember certain things and being so panicked out of my mind, and it's a panic that you normally don't feel, hopefully in a lifetime of. And I describe it as, if somebody's coming in your house and you're hiding because they're going to kill you. It's a panic. You can't even cry. You're so scared out of your mind. And I can remember just begging for my life, basically saying, I have children, please take me back. And they kept saying, and this is really weird. I would get all real hyped up. And I remember thinking, I know you can calm me down. I know you can calm me down. And why I knew that, I don't know. I remember calming down and breaking out of that again and just being so hyped up and scared. And then I can remember screaming, where's Joe? And they said, he's down the hallway. He's going to be okay. And I remember saying, get him back with me. Make sure he gets back with me because I felt responsible for him. But that was something that...
She was responsible for me.
Yeah, I made sure he got home okay. But, when people say, do you think you've been abducted? And I always say no. But honestly, something crazy happened that night. And it was what came before was those little things floating outside the window that we were watching.
What were they?
They were blue orbs.
Wood balls.
Mm-hmm.
A good choice of words. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, I didn't want y'all to think I was being rude and texting on my phone while you were talking, but I just want y'all to know I did have a very important text come through from Amber. So if Amber is in here, hey girl. Oh, I'm sorry, Tina. Oh, she just said got it. So Tina doesn't even know I'm here talking about her. But anyway, hi Amber. Oh, and if Heidi's watching, I love you, Heidi. So Wendy, Amber is the one that I keep telling you need to watch her YouTube channel. It's amazing. She's the one with Love After Lockup, all the shows we like.
We love that.
We
Is
love
the one that has the guest on her, like the guest.
Yeah, she's the one that
I
does
love
it.
that. She is good. She's real good.
She's the one that does it.
Yeah.
She always gets the tea, I'm telling you. And I don't know this guy personally, but John Yates, he's another one. He's really good. He's the one that knows like all the 90-day people. If you want to know stuff on 90 Day, you go to John Yates.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
just saying. So we got
to
about
bring a show where they bring in all the old 90 Day, people. 'Cause I want to know what happened.
Well, I think we can do that. Lucy, come up here. We're still talking. We've got about 10 minutes left. Come make your presence known. Come here. And tell her to come up here. And oh, Wendy, you got a compliment. You have a great guest with great stories. See, I knew you would do good.
Great stories. Yay. Thanks, Wendy.
You.
See, I knew bringing you on as my first guest, Wendy, is going to be awesome.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
I just wish Ashley didn't break up so much, because sometimes Ashley is like real good, and then she like freezes. Like, it's real funny.
Ashley's an alien because she's got these incredible blue eyes. They are so beautiful. They're like,
oh yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Once again, here we go with the blue balls shit again.
I know. Blue is the color of the night. Blue diamonds, blue balls, blue eyes.
I just don't understand. I don't understand. Oh, John, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I don't think we did half bad for our first interview. I mean, we don't need to start talking about blue balls and whatnot, but
It
whatever.
happens.
Whatever. So
Whatever.
so what's next in Wendy's world? What are you gonna do?
I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. Craig and Lori and I are thinking about doing some fun things together. I don't know. I would like to write a book. I would like to do a film. I don't know what I'd want to do. I want to get over this crazy virus so that we can all start living again.
So, in case you guys haven't figured out, Wendy and I talk all the time, and we have the craziest relationship because we like to participate in an activity that we call remote viewing, which is
True.
well, it is called remote. Remote viewing is very big in the paranormal world, you know.
Mhm.
But Wendy and I do it a little bit different. So Wendy and I live several states away from one another. But what we do, because we're both addicted to TV and apparently we have no life, we will go and we will sync up our TV remotes and we will watch the same show at the same time on the phone with each other and not say a word until a commercial.
Right.
And we call it.
It's so fun. One time we were so desperate. Do you remember when I was living in Los Angeles and we each went to a movie? Like you found at the same time and I did. It was like we're like in the movie together watching it. That's so sad.
Wendy and I have done a lot together. We go to the movies together.
We do lots of stuff.
One time we bought a car together. We did do that. Remember? We both went and bought cars the same day.
Remember the one time that we were in Los Angeles? Well,
did you forget?
Really, but it kind of was. And we were going to every we went to the like the people died, like famous murder scees.
Wait, what are you talking about?
You know, remember you were going like, okay, go here to, and you made me drive down into a.
Oh, yeah.
We were going to get a scrapbook going. Just like, okay, we went to go visit we are such hillbillies. That's the problem. Okay, like, oh, where did we go? We went to the.
Okay, so when Wendy was living in Los Angeles, we got on the phone. And again, because we're interested, we're paranormal ourselves. We were looking up things where, oh, y'all, my battery's going to die, so maybe I need to wrap this up. We're going to have to save this story for next time. But it's a good story. So
it's really good.
I do want to wrap this up, though. Wendy, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you. You did a great job, Joe.
You have been a pleasure to have on.
Exactly.
You will definitely be back on Ghost Hunter Joe and Friends. Oh. Heidi went to Nicole Simpson's house. That's one of the houses that I made.
Yes.
Too.
That one was hard because they changed the address. We walked up and down that street it felt like forever, Joe, trying to find them.
And not only did I make her go there, but I tried to make her get out and take pictures, but she refused.
Oh my gosh. Who else did we go see?
The Menendez brothers.
Which ones?
The Menendez brothers.
Oh my gosh. I almost got in trouble for that one. Because you're like, get a closer shot. I'm like, oh my God.
I did make her get out of the car for that one. I did.
We are just like 12-year-olds.
Well, yeah, we have nothing else to do.
Oh, the Mansons. Have we gone up? I don't think we've gone up there yet.
I don't think we've done that one.
Mm-hmm. I've been there. Yeah. That'll be our next trip to LA.
Well, I am going to wrap this up because I don't have my computer plugged in. And we're going.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Ashley. Yeah,
Bye.
Joe just clicked out.
I think we lost Joe.
Yeah, we lost Joe.
Well, until next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, he did a great job. So that was fun. Bye. Bye, Ash. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Hello.
Joe?
Yeah, my battery died.
Is it turned off all the way? Can you?
At your computer, or phone. Yeah, I think so.
Can you click it off all the way?
Well, no, I mean, like, I can't see. All I see when I go to the YouTube